You're listening to the EMG radio
到你的
show
我
on 91.5, the Rebel HD2. Like to share a few upcoming events with you. Armed Forces Chamber of Commerce proudly presents Coffee with a NHP Trooper. Coffee with a Trooper brings Nevada Highway Patrol, Southern Command, and the community members they serve together over coffee. Buy a cup of coffee, tea, or espresso and meet a new friend from Nevada Highway Patrol on Tuesdays, March 27th, next Tuesday at 0700 hours to 0800 hours, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time at the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf located at 7291 West Lake Mead Boulevard, Suite 110, Las Vegas, Nevada 89128. Information is available online at armedforceschamber.com. Well, this moment, we're now having the Armed Forces Chamber of Commerce segment where we talk to Armed Forces members and advocates about their businesses. And right now, I'd like to introduce a gentleman who is making his debut on the show today, Mr. Carl. How are we doing, sir?
Outstanding. How you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks so much for being a guest on the EMG radio show during the Armed Forces Chamber of Commerce segment. And also thank you for your membership and your support of the group. Why don't let's open up, start, and tell us your name, where you're from, and what it is you do.
Great. Thank you for having me. And my name is Carl Demeilig. I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area. And what I do is I help individuals understand the government programs which help them lower their student loan payments and ultimately have their student loan forgiven.
Wonderful. And now I don't have any student loans. I'm unfamiliar with it. My daughter has a scholarship. So for the guys like me who don't know, tell me what it's like to have a student loan. Is it financial pressure? Is it something that follows you in your life that could be maybe a burden on your credit report? What exactly happens?
So it's both a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because it allowed you to get the education that you hoped would earn you a lot more money in the future. But it turns into a curse because after you graduate, you almost have to live like you're a student all over again. Because I'm working with some individuals whose monthly payments are close to $3,000. And in the state of California, that's about 30% of that person's income.
Wow, I mean, $3,000, goodness, that's a mortgage. That's paying for a home, and does that only apply to someone like an attorney or a physician, or can this be a person who's pursuing a different kind of degree program?
So the forgiveness program applies to anyone who has a federal student loan, and they don't have to have graduated from college. They just have to have the loan from a college, and you qualify for these forgiveness programs based on the amount you borrowed, how much income you're currently making, or for the previous year, what state you live in, and also how many dependents you have.
Wow.
So it doesn't matter what degree you have or don't have.
And so a student who has a student loan out there that they're making payments on, if they want to reduce the amount of that loan, you're the guy they call.
Yes, and I'm glad you said a student who has these loans. They technically cannot be in school anymore for at least 6 months. But yes, it's the earlier they plan ahead, the better.
And when this person calls you, emails you, when they contact you, however they do, and they sign up with you, once the process begins, is there anything they need, any information they need to give you, or anything they need to do specifically to aid your efforts?
Sure. When they first book an appointment to see if they qualify, I ask a few questions like income, how much they filed for their last income tax filing. And if those two numbers aren't enough to qualify them, then I'll let them know, hey, I might need a little bit more info, like how many more dependents you have. And if I still can't help them, then there's no need going forward unless we can do something to adjust their gross income, pre-tax contributions, things like that. If I know for a fact that I can help them, then we continue with the appointment, 20-minute phone call, and I get more data, and then I run some numbers through my proprietary software calculator, and then we can predict based on where they live, and also if they're going to have kids a year from now, 2 years from now, or get married, what their income might be. We can predict how much their loan payments will be, and also how much will be forgiven after the period of either 10, 20, or 25 years.
Awesome. Now tell me, and I'm not going to ask you to share the proprietary secrets of how you do what it is you do, but is this the method that helps a student, reduce their student loan? Is this something you invented, or are you taking advantage of some things out there already offered by the federal government or agencies, like that?
Okay, great question. The only thing top secret is the type of calculator I use. The government has its own, but it's limited in the fact that it expects that you're going to have a 5% income raise every year, that you won't have a significant change in your number of dependents. But everything else, they're all government mandated. It started by the Omnibus Act in 1994, and then later on an executive order created 2 more programs. So the information's out there if you want to read through all of it.
Got you. So the benefit of the student coming on board as your client and working with your company is your experience with the paperwork, knowing what's required, how to prepare the paperwork, how to file it. You've done all this research, and you're able to save them the time and effort of having to invest all this time and the money like you have, and you have relationships with people that can help the process. Is this correct?
Yes, time, energy, potential headaches, worrying if you did it right. Some people will just look at the numbers and pick the program that looks the best up front, but they discover 3 years later when they get married, well, congratulations, your loan payment's just doubled because your spouse has an income. Oops. It's worth having it done right the first time.
Wow. Now, we're talking student loans. We're talking money. Let's talk about how much money. When a person comes on board and they say, hey, I'm going to hire you. I'm going to write you a check. I want your company to do this for me. And I know every situation varies and everything is different. But can you give us a low ballpark figure, or maybe what the highest figure is that you've been able to help someone reduce their loans, their student loans?
Let's see. The biggest loan I've seen is from a student who isn't even done yet. He's at $440,000, and he's on his last semester, I hope, working on his master's. I don't remember the degree, but it doesn't matter. But the largest one I've actually helped work on is just under $300,000 a month. This is a doctor down in Southern California, and the monthly payment was lowered to almost $3,000 to about $650. And
wow.
She had an income of $95,000 adjusted gross.
That's a savings of almost $2,500 a month, which is $35,000 a year. How long does the average student loan last, the term?
Oh, it could be 10 years, could be 30.
So let's say 10 years. You just saved that person almost $300,000. That's literally a home.
And she makes good money. I mean, you'd think with $95K you could pay it off, but that was a third of her income.
Now,
in California, that's not good.
Now, right now we're getting some messages on social media and email, and people are asking questions. This student loan, being able to reduce their student loan, does it matter how long they've been out of college? Does their age matter? Does the type of degree program they were involved in, do those kind of things matter, or can you help anybody?
Well, what matters is if they had to file something called a FAFSA. It's what everyone who applies for a loan first does in college when they're applying for money. That's the federal loan money. And if I can help them, it's based on how much they borrowed and their income. That's probably the most important thing. If their income is, so much, way much bigger than we can work with, then you pretty much won't qualify for the programs. 3 of them anyway, or the other 2 you'll end up paying more than you would in the standard 10-year plan.
Gotcha. Okay, so it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding is the biggest factor is going to be their income.
Yes.
And other than that, as long as they don't earn too much money, and I know that varies based upon what the student loan amount is, but as long as they don't earn too much money, you can assist them.
Yes. And if it's a federal loan again.
Awesome. Wow. That's awesome. And again, I know every situation is different. Is there an average amount of time it takes you to help a person reduce their student loans?
So most of the waiting time, honestly, is administrative, mailing the forms out or waiting for the lender to approve of the forms. And the good thing is they're supposed to, sometimes they don't, they immediately put you on a forbearance when you're not paying, so that at least gives you a small break in making payments.
Awesome. We're gonna take a short break, and I definitely on another episode want to have you come back and continue this discussion. But for those listening that say, "Hey, I want to have my student loan reduced. I need to call this guy. I need to hire him." How can the listeners get a hold of you?
The easiest way is on the internet through the website called collegeloanangel.com. That's singular, collegeloanangel.com.
Awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, you can learn more about this program and the services specifically, and definitely have a consultation to learn about how he can help you. And again, his website address is collegeloanangel.com. That's LOANANGEL.com. Give him a shout out one more time before we take a break.
All right, thank you for listening. My name is Carl DeMiley from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I run the College Loan Angel program. Get your student loans forgiven and enjoy your life the way you meant to.
Awesome. There you have it, folks, live on the EMG radio show. That's Mr. Carl from College Loan Angel. You can reach him at collegeloanangel.com. Stay tuned for more. We'll be right back.